Hello, hello to everyone, and as usual, it's time to record the next speaking practice video. And today's speaking practice video is 50-second video, and I want to share with you some thoughts and some information that I've been thinking about recently about these types of practicing about these types of videos. Uh, let's start with the first point that my goal is to achieve fluency, of course, in English. And because of it, I simply need to transform my approach to speaking, not drastically, but a little bit in a manner of talking, uh, how to say it, in in framework talking or in talking with structure. Uh, what actually do I mean? I mean that when I've only started the speaking practice, the main goal was to just um, exercise and elaborate, enhance this ability just simply to talk in a foreign language. I didn't care much of how I was talking, what I was talking, and yes, as I said, the goal was just to make myself familiar with talking in a foreign language. And now after all this months of practice, now I understand and feel that I'm get this goal. I've got already this goal. I've got my skill to the point where I can speak English almost effortlessly. And now the moment came that I need to move to the other step of practicing, to the other step of training speaking. Now the main goal is not just speak, but speak, um, as I said, sorry for repeating myself, uh, more according to structure. I mean, repeat myself less. Don't be afraid of pause or gaps in a speech, because usually when I don't know what to say, I just make up some words, some very often used words or collocations or phrases, in order to just simply fill these gaps in speaking. And it creates the appearance. It's yes, it creates the appearance. Uh, it creates the appearance that I use a lot of unnecessary construction and words, and usually it is leading me uh, astray from the thought that I wanted to explain to you, to other person, simply to the speaking partner in the future. Yes, so that's now a problem that I need to solve. I need to make my speech more clear and more structurized. And even if it would cost me gaps, uh, yes, even if it would cost me gaps in speaking, the speaking structurally and clearly is more important than just talk without pauses. And I came to this understanding after I watched a short on YouTube from I don't remember how uh, this guy name is, but he's an Asian and he is a speaking coach. Sometimes I like, sometimes I like watching his content, and in the shots that he posted uh, was a very useful information uh, was very useful information about which I just talked about which I've just about what I've just talked right now about that what's the difference between skillful speaker and unskillful speaker. A skillful speaker know what he's talking about. He keep the structure, keep his thoughts structurized, and give the information deliberately. And the skillful speaker do not afraid of making gaps and pauses. I even he probably even said that it's better to make a pause than trying to fill the gap with some unnecessary words or sentences that are not essential for what you want to say, for what you wanted to say. Yes, and I'm gonna take this knowledge, and now I will try to speak in more structurally and express my thoughts, even if it took, even if it, even if it, even if it oblige me or push me to do a lot of pauses and make a lot of gaps in my talk. I actually okay with it. I think as I said, in order to not repeat myself once again, the speaking clearly more important than just speaking continuously without gaps or pauses. Yes, and that's what I wanted to say, wanted to announce before I start answering the questions. And now we can start actually practicing. Part 1, personal questions. Do you prefer spending your free time indoors or outdoors? Why? Honestly saying, now I do not. Honestly saying, in a current time segment, in a present, I spend almost all my time indoors. But honestly, it's not my choice. It's not the thing that I'm keen on. I just spend so many time indoors uh, because of I need things to do, because of being on the street. It's not quite safe now, and the most logical and I think profitable decision in my situation now and for me is to stay home and spend all time that I have into working, studying, and practicing skills that I will need to apply for my next desirable job. But if we will talk about in general what I prefer more, like despite of the situation, if for example let's imagine that there is just simple normal situation for living. Um, Usually, I like to balance. I do not, of course, I do not spend a lot of time outdoors because I am an introvert, and according to my character, I prefer doing some, let's say, uh, lonely routines. But at the evening, usually at the evening after a work day, I always like to go for a walk, or on the weekends, I'd love to spend time somewhere in the nature or just simply strolling in the park. This type of things, I mean, like just simple strolling, or I also like riding a bicycle, things like that. Simple activity routines indoors, outdoors. I mean, um, pays me, pay me in a good recreation manner. I mean, I just recreate very good by outdoor simple activities. Sometimes, of course, I can look for a social connection, social time spending. I mean, I could go for a pub or just simply ask someone to go for a walk with me, or even on a date if there is a potential date. Yes, something like this. But as I said, I prefer keep it in balance and not in an equal balance. Still, the time that I'm spending indoors uh, higher, or times that I spend in indoors not higher, but mm, more much in amount than time that I'm spending outdoors. Yes, time. You have to say it. Indoors time spending prevail. Prev, pre, sorry, I need Google. It's this word. Prevail. Prevail. Yes, prevail. Uh, Prevail on outdoors time spending. The next question: how often do you meet with friends, and what do you usually do together? Uh, I meet with my friends, I could say now, hardly ever. And that's also because of the situation we are all living in. And I think, and not only that, I think with age, when you become more adult, you just simply, I don't know, value your personal time more, and you usually have things to do in these free times. I'm not talking exactly about job or practicing. I'm talking about your own hobbies like reading, exercising, mm, also cycling, or any other type of routine that is hobby for you. And you value these things more than just simply spending time with friends in a pub or in any other place. Your personal time becomes more valuable for you. So that's why I spend time with my friends now, hardly ever, and I think in the future it would be even more, hardly ever than now. And I explain why. I'm not against the social interactions, of course, we all humans and we need each other to live, to survive. But maybe this is me, maybe this is my character, but I prefer spending time most of the in most of the situations and most of the days alone with my hobbies. That's recreates me. Is my hobbies that recreate me very well. If you had the chance to live in another country for a year, where would you go and why? For a year, good question. According to this question, this question mean by itself that I have the money already. I would have the money. And this would be more like already paid for me experience, and I will have a lot of free time, and I will have place where to live. I will accommodation. Yes, I will accommodate very well in this another country for a year. In this case, I would love to choose Japan or Poland. Japan because I'm really interested in this culture, and I would love to just spend time freely there. Do not pay attention to, like, how to say it. No, I would love to spend time here, uh, especially a whole year, in order to make myself familiar with language, with the local culture, describe and learn many new things about Japan, and being also all this 1 year period financially secure. That's what I would love to do in a Japanese. Yes, in this second conditional question. And why Poland? We we considering the same situation that we are considering the same situation that I already find financially secure and I can spend whole year in a Poland without looking for a job. And so in this case, why Poland? Because I have career plans. I have career plans for Poland. I mean, I want to get a job I want to work in Poland in the future, and also I want to study in Poland. I want to finish university in Poland, and university on a faculty that about English learning. Sorry, I just don't want how to say this subject. I don't want how to. I don't want how this subject called in an English. Something like English literature, probably, or English proficiency, something like that. Yes, and I would love to spend time in a university in order to simply educate myself in using of this language. And it's also, yeah, yes, and as you might already guessed, and as also as you might already guessed, when I will attend in the university, when I would attend in the university, I wouldn't be able work, and that's why the secured position, the secured money, the secure uh, fina- financial position in this second conditional imaginary situation would be very helpful and useful, handy, handy for me, because I would have money for whole year studying in university in Poland, studying English, yes, and didn't stress myself about where to live and where to get resources for accommodation and pay tuitions and pay tuitions. In that case, that's why Poland. Yes. The part two, cue card. Describe a time when you learned a new skill. Um, I don't. There is no past simple in this question for me because I'm learning daily. I'm learning different things, and I can't say that I anywhere even close to finish it, my learning. I mean, I'm somewhere in the middle in an English learning process, somewhere close to the middle point in a Polish language, and definitely also in the middle in 3D animation learning. 3D animation learning. Of course, I get some results. Of course, every day I try to repeat something important or learn something new, but I do not pay so much attention to how to say it. I pay all my attention to the process, and in my head, I keep in my mind. I mean, I keep this process of study like something is gonna be that something that is gonna be for a very long period of time. I'm not thinking about it like, for example, I will study another 3 months and then this is over. No, it's not how it works, at least for me. I understand that this is a process that will take another 1 year, and after another 1 year, another 1 year, and somewhere after 10, 15 years, I will be extremely fluent in both languages, even in third languages, extremely professional 3D animator, and somewhere there, I would say that yes, I've learned the skill. But now I'm just in a process, so it would be difficult for me to answer this question. Um, but okay, let's try to somehow specify it a little. Let's say what I've recently learned in English. I've recently learned just the first part of very huge topic about articles when we use an and the. Uh, just the first, I don't know, 15% of whole informations in this unit, whole information about this topic. And I know I also still continue learning it. I'm not finished even with this skill, but okay. How you learned it? How I learned first 15% of information in the topic about articles. Uh, Thanks to Oxford Practice Grammar book. I just opened the unit and at first I conspect it, then I repeat it, and after repeating on the next day, I did exercises. Exercises, yes, beneath this unit. And probably he also repeated it just in a passive manner while I was cleaning or washing dishes or exercising, yes, just in order to keep this information in my head. That's how I learned it. How difficult it was? Um, it's also it's not the right question, I think, in an English learning or other things that requires very long time to learn. Um, there is no difficulty. There is also there is no difficulty. There is only hours and days, months and years. I mean time. There is only time and how much time you are investing in this subject. That's the only thing that matters. There is no difficulty, only the desire and time that you spend for practice and studying. Yes. But okay, let's subjectively rate it. It was not so difficult for me. Let's say somewhere on the 5 out of 10. Only because that it was interval repeating for me. I already learned this topic, I think, a couple of months ago, and now I'm just now I'm just seeing this topic again and repeating it again, and of course, in order to get the better knowledge, the better, in order to better remember it. Yes, it's this actually one of the methods in learning languages. It calls interval repeating. It's when you always come back to the things that you learned before. Yes, and in this way, the chance that you remember it much more higher than only than just from once than just from one time seeing it. Yes, interval repeating it called, and this method works for me very well. Um, so what else could I say? Explain how useful this skill has been for you. Very useful because articles. It's I could say um, it's a complicated, difficult topic for every English learner because there is a lot of rules and a lot of situations. I mean, yes, a lot of situations in which you have to think a lot before use article or not to use article, and what article also need you use. It's a confusing, especially it's a confusing while you writing it, and in speaking it even more confusing because you simply I'm talking about me now. I simply don't have a lot time to think about what article to put before the noun. I'm concentrating more on sentence building and sentence structure. Um, yes, but the question was how useful these skills has been to you. It's very useful because it helps me build my sentences in writing and speaking much more correctly or just correctly. Yes, in a right way. How is how is how it has to be. Yes, that's why actually I'm learning grammar in order to speak and write rightly with yes, just rightly, properly. Part 3, discussion questions. Do you think learning practical skills is more important than academic knowledge? Why or why not? Sincerely speaking, I don't know. I don't have experience of learning English in university. I mean, in a way of academic, in a way of acquiring academic knowledge. I don't have this experience, and I can't say surely. Uh, but I think if we will consider it, I mean, in general, it all depends on your goal. If your goal is just speak, if your goal just use English for daily conversation, for your work, and I know, I mean, just use it like a normal human, like a supportive tool for communication. I think the practical skills are more important than academic knowledge. But if you want to bind your life with an English in a way of teaching it or being a translator or I don't know, write articles in this language, or being some kind of cultural specialist in um, in English culture. In this case, of course, the academic language or the academic knowledge must have. Yes, very important. The next. If companies provided more training opportunities, how would that affect employees? Usually, if a company is is good, simply good, they are provide training for employees. Usually they provide training for employees because because I think there is no need even to give a lot of reasons. If your employee are qualified, and if your employee uh, enhance and increase his qualifications, he just simply brings you like an employee, and he just brings you better results, better work results. Yes, and that's why the companies train their employees just in order to enhance their abilities to do the job. And it's absolutely normal situation. And I am only both hands cheer and for it. Yes, this is a good decision. And in my company that I'm working now, I feel a real lack of these training opportunities. It pushes me to studying everything that I want by myself. And when you study by yourself without a guide or teacher, usually you or in another in or on the contrary, you or if I paraphrase it, with a tutor you can avoid much more rookie mistakes, and you always have someone to ask for a piece of advice. But when you are alone, need to you need to count only on yourself and on the information that you might find in the internet, and that's all. And the next question: in your opinion, what skills will be the most valuable in the future workplace? It depends on the job proficiency, I think. But in general, I think the same as usual: ability to communicate adequately, be punctual, and do your job very well. Yes, these three actually things in general that every employee want to see from his employers. Um, Adequacy, ability to deal with people, and punctuality, and performing the work. Um, how to say it? Performing the work in a qualified, um, in a qualified manner. Yes. If schools focused less on exams and more on creativity, what changes would happen? If schools focused less on exams and more on creativity, what changes would happen? I'm not gonna judge. I'm not gonna judge the education system. I mean, I think there is have to be exams, and there is have to be a little time for creativity. But in my opinion, the school responsibility is just to uh, interest children into studying subject. Yes, it might be done by different ways, by many creative ways, but exams is also very important, because by the exams we can judge, we can rate, we can just simply rate we can just simply rate how good the children's actually succumb, not succumb, but annihilate, not inhale. Sorry, very difficult to find the word now. Consume. How good children's consume and digest the information that was given to them in school. Exams very important, and rates also very important, because according to your rates according to your school diploma, you then gonna be com competing um, for the place in the college or university. So I think education system do everything right. I mean, in concentrating on exams. So that's not an issue. Issue might be that the way of teaching subjects might be tedious and not creative, and that's an issue that have to be fixed. Not orientation on not orientation at exams. The issue, as I said, sorry for repeating, is this unqualified, unmotivated teachers who teach uh, their their subjects, uh, who teach their subjects, um, or who teach their subject unprofessionally, uncreatively, and just badly, in a simple way of speaking. And this is the issue that would affect the studying process drastically. And that's the issue, if it would be fixed, will affect the studying in a positive manner uh, drastically. Do you think people today find it harder to concentrate than in the past? Why? Um, I don't know about people, but in my case, it's not a problem for me to concentrate. Yes, talking about me, the technologies, I mean, the things that usually distract other people, help me to concentrate even more. I just know how to use technologies properly, and I know how to focus on things. Yes, in my case, uh, I don't have problems with concentration. Probably someone else, someone not so dedicated and someone without precise goals, yes, they will be much more easy distracted now by technologies, by internet, by advertising, I don't know. Yeah, things like that. They would be much more easily distracted. But as I said, in my case, it not affect me at all because I understand how to control it, how to control my concentration and how to focus on things. I think many people also know how to do it and how to work with technologies properly. So that is my answer. I don't think people today find it harder to I think in general, I mean like there's some very very wide general meaning. Yes, people find it harder to concentrate today in nowadays. But in a precise cases, I mean in a people just who know how to concentrate, there is no a problem for them. The question number 10: how can technology help people to keep learning through their lives? Very easily. Very easily, I am for instance, I am the example of the person who study only thanks to technologies, because all information, I mean, books, study materials, TV shows, serials, other people to communicate with. It's all I found in the internet, and it's all and I take it's all from the internet and helps to my personal computer that I have, and don't know what to say else about it. The technology, yes, the technology surely help people to keep learning through their lives much more efficient, faster, and better now. Because all the information, simply all the information that in the past times you can only get only in the university or in the library. Now you can get sitting at home, just looking in the internet, and that's all. There is a lot of sites with information. There is a lot of studying materials that you can get. There is a lot of things to practice. There's a lot of there is just a lot of information in the internet that we can use, and it makes our learning much more um, much more accessible. Yes, just much more accessible for us. And this was my answer. Yes, this was 10 questions. I think I did very well today. I've been speaking for 40 minutes. It's a good result for speaking practice. And I think it's all. I also need to do some other things today. I also need to manage the other things today before go to sleep. So I think this is over for today. Thank you for watching and see you in the next speaking practice video. And also, before I forget, I soon gonna post a new type of practice, a writing practice, and in order to not spoil the surprise, I just say that it's gonna be much more engaging and interesting than these speaking practice videos. I mean, in entertainment. I mean, in the entertainment format. Yes. Thank you for watching again, and see you in the next week.